everyone, welcome once again. So this is the last session of this entire Lean Six Sigma Foundation training program. Before I talk about what we did in the last session, and I'm sure this has been a thrilling experience for me to record these videos for you and to complete this entire training program. We have discussed so many things, and I'm sure you would have enjoyed those videos too. We talked about a lot of things about the Lean Six Sigma. I talked about my personal experiences on some of those aspects, and I'm sure you would be able to get some learnings. You would be able to use some of these tools in your day-to-day life, in your operations, wherever you go. If you are working somewhere, maybe you can use it. If you are studying somewhere, maybe whenever you start working in corporate, you can use some of these tools. So it has been a really pleasure to have these sessions for you, and I'm sure that you may be able to use these videos maybe sometime in your life, and maybe give some suggestions as well. So thank you for that. So let's continue to what we have done in last session. In our last session, we were talking about the analyze phase tollgate review, and in this session we'll talk about the improve and control phase tollgate review and the project closure. So as part of the improve phase, we use a lot of brainstorming session to generate the potential ideas. For example, we talk about the standardization and benchmarking as solutions. Standardization is very important because we want to ensure that every part of our process works in the same manner. That's very key thing. And if it happens, then it becomes very easy for us to measure the baseline current state of the process. But if everyone behaves differently, then it will not be possible for us to know what are we doing, how are we doing it. So standardization is a very common thing to do. Second thing is the benchmarking. We try to mirror ourselves. We try to learn from the best in the industry. Whosoever is doing the best job, let's try to learn from that and let's start doing it so that we'll also become the best. So that's simple benchmarking every company tries to adopt as a best practice. Apart from that, there is a very common, very unique, interesting method of doing the brainstorming, which is about Dr. Edward de Bono's 6 thinking hats, which is about how to change our thinking pattern while we are in a brainstorming session. How do we look at different type of thinking patterns, and how do we use them in a brainstorming session, how to get the best out of people, how to make the best use of a productive session, of a brainstorming session, how to discuss different type of idea in different ways. That's the Dr. Edward de Bono's 6 thinking hat methodology, very famous across the globe. Then we also talk about the mistake proofing as a methodology, in which we are talking about how to prevent the error by using some alert, signals, warning. We then talk about 5 different S, which is sort, set in order, shine, standardize, sustain, which is nothing but keep the workplace clean and organized. So these are some of the solutions that we generate. But we don't stop it. We try to prioritize them using urgent, important metrics. Whichever is urgent, high important, we pick them up first. And then we assess the risk in a process using a method called Fmea, failure mode and effect analysis, in which we calculate three things: the severity of failure modes, occurrence of failure modes, and detection of failure modes. And we multiply these numbers and we get a resultant called as risk priority number. Higher the risk priority number, higher the problem. Then we try to mitigate those risks by working on the mitigation plan. But we still don't implement solution, because we implement the solution at a small scale, small control conditions called as pilot. And we run the pilot, we get the feedback from pilot, incorporate that feedback into the solution, then we do a full scale implementation, which has a lot of things like training plan, communication, change impact, and so on. Once the improve phase is over, we have a tollgate review and move to the control and the last phase of the DMAIC cycle, wherein we prepare a control plan to ensure that solutions that we have developed, they remain as it is. We should be able to further improve those solution. So we build a control plan which has elements like we need to align the structure and systems of the new process with the older ones. We have to ensure that we have a response plan ready. We have to ensure that we have a monitoring plan ready. We have to ensure we have a response plan ready and a documentation plan ready. We have to ensure we have a training and communication plan ready as part of the control plan. So control plan talks about these details. We validate the overall financial impact. We then do a before and after analysis of what we were doing before when we started project, what is the baseline now after the project is over, and then we have a final tollgate review with the business sponsor and the project coach, and then we finally hand over the project to the process owner. We summarize the process, we do a case study analysis, we write a case study, we narrate it as a story. We acknowledge everyone's effort, we recognize everyone who has contributed in this project, and we finally celebrate, and that is when the Six Sigma project gets over. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you and congratulations. This is where we end the entire Lean Six Sigma Foundation training program for all of you. As we have discussed a lot of stuff, you may not be able to use all of them in your areas. You can use some of them. I will recommend try to use as much as possible, learn as much as possible. These videos will help you to understand the Lean Six Sigma foundation, the basic framework, and you may be able to use this methodology in your day-to-day life also. And this has been, as I said, a real pleasure to be with all of you and to interact with all of you. So thank you everyone once again. Wish you all the best. Do well. This is Shivendra Sharma signing off.